What's going on, guys? Today we were going to reacting to another Timmy FNBR. I know it's been 2 months since I last posted. My hair grew back a little bit more. Today we're going to react to how Pollo proved he's better than Peterbot. Let's get into today's video. I have not seen this video at all. Let's get into it.
For all of 2024, the entire Fortnite world was only saying one name.
Peterbot. Arguably
the best player to ever touch
the game.
Well,
Yeah, he is.
At least that's what everybody thought. Because this past weekend's FNCS Grand Finals was full of crazy clutches.
Badil season now.
Not too early.
Pete takes down Badil as a solo. Peterbot takes height as a solo. Gets the siphon. Takes down Sphinx. What the f is happening?
Drama.
Did you congrat Acorn? Bro, shut the f up, bro. Why would I congrat someone that f me over the season and made me feel like
And
bro,
one of the best underdog
I thought Pollo was terrible. He was getting. I thought he was getting carried.
Perhaps the most
But
successful duo in Fortnite history. If you're a fan
backwards.
of the channel, you
Pollo
know
was
that I
literally
made a couple of videos about these guys. So if you want to know
I made
everything about
a video
Peterbot
about
and
Mr.
Pollo,
Savage, so if
can
you
go
guys
back
haven't
and
seen
check
that,
those out later.
I'll
But
put
for
a
now,
link
I'm gonna do a quick recap of what
right
happened last year before we dive into all
here.
the drama of 2025. In December of 2023, Peterbot and Pollo decided to team up for the first time. They worked together perfectly, with Peterbot doing crazy amounts of damage, and Pollo being one of the smartest IGLs in the game.
Feels a little better for me because Peter's been known for a while, but this year I came up, I guess. He's definitely better at getting eliminations, but I think I'm smarter than him. He'll probably tell you that as well.
In Major 1, their first ever big tournament together, they finished second place in NA Central with 721 points.
Acorn and Cold in first, Peterbot and Pollo in second. Peterbot was putting on an absolute highlight reel. The broadcast was showing some of the most ridiculous shots I have ever seen out of them.
Following that, they played a literal perfect Cash Cup, getting 6 out of 6 wins in finals.
It was too early.
Go back.
They never got under 10 kills.
Nice. Oh my god.
Let's go.
Then in Major 2, this duo broke the point record for FNCS on day number 1. Then on day number 2, they won the whole thing, getting their first FNCS win together.
Pollo still hanging out way up above the clouds.
That's what's impressive about this. Peterbot is down here literally 2v1ing, fighting everyone while Pollo's like, hey man, I'll make sure I lock in the win. One for a no-scope, okay?
Alright. Don't feed them the splashes. Don't feed them the splashes.
That, oh my god!
Bro, what is
Just pulled off.
What low key? Peterbot's 16, but he sounds like a child. He sounds like a literal child.
One of the craziest wins we have ever seen in Fortnite.
Not only was this their first win as a duo, but this was Pollo's first ever FNCS win. But little did he know, this would not be his last. Because
so true.
in the literal next FNCS of Major 3, they took home first place again.
It is confirmed. Peterbot and Pollo have done it. The back-to-back has happened. Peterbot and Pollo, congratulations once again.
And a back-to-back FNCS win is insanely rare, but to follow it up with something even greater, which was a three-peat, was basically unheard of.
Would you please give it everything you've got for the FNCS Global Champions 2024, Peterbot and Pollo!
So, with Peterbot and Pollo being quite literally unstoppable and dominating all of the grand finals in NA Central and in Globals, they were set to take on 2025 together. Or maybe not, because after the then world champions finished off the Globals, they decided to mysteriously part ways.
Like, me and Pollo are split up for trios, chat. And me and Cole, they're like just gonna play with a tarper.
However, while surprising, this wasn't entirely out of nowhere. See, Epic Games had just announced that the game mode would be switching from duos to trios in 2025. And Peterbot and Pollo most likely thought that their playstyles wouldn't fit together well in this new competitive environment. Technically, the breakup actually happened in 2024 during September, right after the global finals, but they did reunite in November and December to try playing a couple of Cash Cups together. However, they did end up splitting again, and this would bring us into 2025, where people were starting to finalize their trios and get ready for Major 1 FNCS, which we all just watched this past weekend. About a month into 2025, it was clear that Peterbot and Pollo were done for good, and many people speculated that this would be the start of the downfall of Pollo's career. And they thought that Peter had simply been carrying Pollo through their insane run and journey in 2024. But Pollo was about to have his chance to prove every single one of his haters wrong. The FNCS Divisional Cups started out at the beginning of 2025 and ran once a week for 5 weeks. Peterbot's new trio consisted of him, Ritual, and Cold, while Pollo teamed up with the up-and-coming Bolts and Rapid. Peterbot and his trio completely swept the Divisional Cups, placing first in literally every single week. On the other hand, Pollo had a few issues. They placed 10th in week 1 and 2nd in week 2, which was a little bit better, but dropping back to 5th in week 3 and 2nd again in week 4. And don't get me wrong, these are incredible placements, but with Peter literally getting first every week, everyone kind of assumed he was just going to win FNCS again. So Pollo made a last-ditch effort to take down Peterbot and prove that he was the best of the best in the game. He decided, with 1 week left, to split from his trio and find a new team. Pollo's new trio would now consist of Agers and Acorn, and the trio finished third place in week 5. Which, although wasn't as good as his other placements, was still pretty impressive considering it was a new trio. However, people were pretty skeptical of this move that Pollo decided
it's a
to
risky
make.
move.
I mean, making such
He
a
just
huge
worked with another
change
team and
in
then
trios
moving to another?
so close to FNCS is a very risky move. See, making a last-minute change of duo is one thing. Maybe both players don't have great communication, but if you're both good enough, you can make something work. Whereas in trios, communication is everything. When you have that many moving pieces, everyone on the team has to be on the same page. So Pollo just had to hope that they could make it work and that the change would pay off. Surprising absolutely nobody, both Peter and Pollo's trios managed to fly through the qualifiers and move on to the grand finals with ease. In the qualifiers, both Peterbot and Pollo looked really good. Peter won his first game easily with 13 total kills.
All the advantage is their game to win now. This is like a foreshadow of what we could potentially see later this month. Cold, Peterbot, Ritual, box to box against their only real threat, the one consistent team. Cold scrambling around, Peterbot down below, trying to fight it out, trying to be the disruptor. Cooper scrambles around, Seeks goes down, Vadil goes down, Cooper gets one, but it's just not enough to overtake Destiny.
And Pollo won his second game with 10 kills.
That's still good.
Has a flopper left, but no time to use it. That's Craze just leading the path, trying to give him some extra cover on the other side, but they're getting smushed to the low ground. Craze with a medallion, makes a play on a crook on the other side, bringing it down to a 3v2, but he gets dropped as well. Oak is by itself, and he doesn't stand a chance. Agers, Acorn, and Pollo pull off a big win.
But at the end of the day, qualifiers really mean nothing, because what it comes down to is the grand finals. And here we are on February 15th of 2025, day 1 of grands. Fortnite fans everywhere turned in to see their once favorite duo now facing off against each other. Game 1 actually started out rough for Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. Peter decided to continue the strategy he used last season, which is focusing on collecting the best medallion in the game. And for Chapter 6 Season 1, the best medallion available is the Invisibility medallion. Unfortunately, 4 other teams wanted this medallion as well, which made the boss fight way more difficult.
Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual have to make a decision quickly now, as they haven't picked up any eliminations, and you know, it's very telling so far of the strength of the lobby, right? We all knew that Peterbot might have taken a fight early on against the trio nearby, but it seems like that didn't end up working out in their favor.
They had to waste a ton of time waiting the other teams out, but luckily they did get the coin and then got into a fight right after.
It's even hard to break through that to try to get what you need. On the other side of the map, you see in Storm Surge really dictating a lot of what we're seeing here today. Ritual goes down. Peterbot and Cold only 42 above that damage threshold.
Oh, no,
Even with the
Ritual's down.
medallion, they're still not finding those opportunities to get what they need without risking it all.
After this fight, Peter is left with the medallion to solo clutch, but things didn't exactly work out. He would die in a respectable 4th place with 7 eliminations.
Pretty good.
But Pollo, on the other hand, continued to rise to the occasion.
Pollo by himself. Can he make the heroic play? He knows 2v1 weak. He's trying to take advantage, but out and around. That's going to be a minute. Braids from down below. Visuals there as well. 3v1, but Pollo's not going to be stopped. Down goes a Minish. 9 HP. Finally making it into the zone. He's trying to let the Storm do his work for the Siphon to come into play.
Very smart play right there. He's going to heal up. It's all up to visuals now. And it's going to come down to a single shot. Pollo does not miss. He connects when it matters, and he will win.
Pollo's team placed first in the first game, getting 14 team eliminations, which was an incredible way for Pollo to start off his grand finals. And remember, Pollo was playing with a
FMBR is
huge
actually a
chip
really
on his shoulder.
entertaining YouTuber.
People had been saying he was getting carried by Peterbot, so to get this
No,
boost of
no, no,
confidence
no,
at the
no.
beginning of the tournament
Peterbot
must have
was
felt
getting
great.
carried.
But you can't ever count out the GOAT, because in Game 2, Peterbot and his trio managed to stick it out and make it to the endgame. However, once again, they still could not overcome Pollo,
I bet
Aegis,
Clicks
and
is
Acorn,
mad. One of
who
his
placed
teammates
second in Game
is
2
gonna
with
probably win
13
FNCS or
kills,
not.
while Peterbot's
Get a
trio
higher
died out
score
in
than
6th
freaking
place with
Clicks,
9
bruh.
kills. And if things could get any worse, Peterbot shocked everybody in Game 3 by going down early.
Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold looking to fight another one of these early game scuffles to try to get their surge to really set themselves up for some of those performances that they've been having so far. Trusting his team to stay alive and put the same pressure on the other side.
What I like about this is no 2 games are the same, right? They've gone a completely different way this time around. Peterbot, though, is going to be the first to fall here to the hands of Fredbot and Nut there on the other side of the wall. Meanwhile, Ritual and Cold seemingly deciding, hey, wait a second, we haven't done enough damage, let's get out of here. And they actually back off.
Luckily, however, Peter's teammates were able to revive him, and they marched together into endgame, only for Cold and Ritual to go down early.
But 105 damage above the threshold, they know as soon as they get to the other side, they got to start to look back. They got to start to get active so they don't worry about it later. But Yapko gets caught out. Big find by Peterbot, get the elimination. But Ritual gets dropped as well. Bring it down to a 2v2 in this fight.
Once again, they find themselves just not as a trio in the endgame. This is what's holding them back right now. This time, it's Cold and Peterbot who have to work with one another, continuously losing the, and I'm going to say this very lightly, IGL of the team.
This, once again, left Peterbot alone, and he really needed a clutch after not doing as good as he wanted the first 2 games. And he held on for as long as he could, but eventually falls.
No, there it is. Some mats finally picked up now. Up he goes with the Void Oni mask. That's a wall that you couldn't climb if he wanted to, but no. Finally, he falls in a short game for him.
All Peter could hope for now
Buzz?
was for things to turn around in the second half of the day. And unfortunately, things would only get worse, as in the next game, Peterbot's teammates would die off of spawn.
Pretty quickly, it's got the attention of a trio outside. Meanwhile, Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot, once again, Ritual just seems to not be able to really catch his footing here. And the surge is active, very reminiscent of game number 1.
I'm about to say 91 surge. When was the last time we seen 91 surge in the FNCS finals lobby? And it just goes to show this is how important it actually is. But the third party coming in, Peterbot once again forced to disengage outward, but just a little bit too slow. Cold gets caught on the mix. He gets knocked down, and now Peterbot's left by himself this early in the game. That's a disaster again that I don't think anybody would expect.
Although he was able to revive them and get to endgame,
True,
they were
yeah.
so disadvantaged that they ended up going down to 6th place again.
Although they have a single elimination, they're just pressuring the rest of the lobby. The big points, though, are in the hands of Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot. They are flying up the standings right now, and it's still active down here. Meanwhile, Cold falls, though. It's all up to Peterbot. Once again, he's the last man standing.
A familiar station that he's already ready for. Big knock on the Virgo. Tries to go for the back-to-back, but the run ends. Top 6 for them.
Pollo's trio, on the other hand, managed to get into the top 5 and outlive Peter's trio once more, getting 4th place.
Zone moving toward the north. He peeks out for a second. High ground puts a ton of pressure, getting to expand the build, force them down low into that chaos, but Ager's trying to play it smart. He doesn't want to go to the ultimate low ground, not at this stage of the game.
Then again in Game 5, Peter and his trio would get 4th place, while Pollo and his trio would get 3rd. So for the first 5 games of day 1, Peterbot's trio did not survive past Pollo's one single game. With all that being said, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual knew they had to change things up going into Game 6 if they wanted to regain some ground going into day 2. So they switched up their strategy, and instead of focusing on W keying and box fighting other trios, they decided to play a lot safer, sit in surge bases, and get tags on the passing teams. However, this was not their best decision, as they landed in 10th place with only 7 eliminations.
That's not good.
Points-wise, this would be their worst game of day number 1.
Pay close attention to the high ground teams, though, as Ager's, Acorn, and Pollo seemingly have this game in a headlock right now.
Good if you're like
That was a big shot on the
Oh
trio,
my God, a
rotating nearby,
pro?
looking for
Like,
a
what are
follow-up,
these
knows exactly where they went, cuts
But-
to the other side, both Cooper feeling the pain, but Peterbot finally goes down.
These are all FNTS winners besides Clicks, obviously. He'll never win. He has a curse. He's gonna get
That's Rapid, who gets credit for that elimination.
And Pollo did exactly what he had been doing all day, carrying his team to a 2nd place where they had 12 cumulative kills.
2v2 now. Booga goes up. It's up against Acorn. Beautiful tag there. Acorn is down. Booga's got the high ground. He's got a chance to bounce back.
2v1 situation, they're ready to drop down. They know they have this one in the bag. Acorns are trying to take the other side. Threat's taking damage, Booga as well, but they have a strength in numbers, a history as a team, and they win the 6th and final game of the day.
At the end of day 1, Pollo was in 1st place with 512 points. And although Peterbot and his trio looked a little bit inconsistent, they did manage to get the 2nd place spot right behind Pollo with 420 points. And at the end of day 1, we saw Ritual tweet out, "Today is on me," basically taking the heat for some of the losses by going down early. But at the end of the day, it's trios, and it's really not on one person, it's on the entire team. And that meant going into day 2, Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold had to lock in and make up the 100-point deficit if they wanted to catch up to Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. And if there's one thing you should know about Peter, it's to never count him out, because the trio went on to win the first game of day 2 with 14 eliminations.
Just on a sliver of HP, no full shields on the Cold either. If Clicks to make this play quick and in a hurry, get the damage, he can finally figure out a way to come up clutch, but they're ready for the fight on the other side. They drop down. Peterbot is not going to be disappointed because Cold and Ritual clutch up when it matters and win their first game of Major 1.
On top of that, Pollo's team got the worst finish of their tournament so far, getting 6th place with 9 kills.
Agers down below, trying to get as many points as possible. First place still on the line as he scrambles back to the zone, getting tagged up along the way. Big flank on the one, but Clicks shuts him down. That's going to be the end of their run in 6th place.
This was a huge boost for Peterbot, because not only did they have a good game, Pollo also had a bad game, meaning that they started to close the gap. After game number 8, the gap between the trios got even closer, because following a good game from Peter, they were only down 39 points to Pollo's trio. And with 4 games left to go, it was really anybody's chance to win. And before we keep talking about this battle between Peterbot and Pollo, it's kind of important that we also mention the rest of the leaderboard. They're basically nowhere to be found. I mean, Pollo's team at 660 points, Peterbot at 621, and then the next...
Clicks at 5th. 2am Batman Booga. Bro. Clicks. These two went up 2, so they were right here. They went up 2. And these have been staying. Staying at his place, staying at his place. Up 1. So, this was 10. This was 10. This was 9. That's bad. That's right up bad.
trio only has 474 points. This was a 2-horse race, and it was going down to the finale. However, tragedy would strike in game number 9 for Peterbot when he would go down in a devastating 17th place after Clix's trio forced them off the medallion on Island.
Dead, killed you. Killed all. Oh, get out. In now. Get out. Fucking Cole is pissed on. It's Peter pissed on. Got tards.
In the same game, Pollo would finish 3rd, which once again widened the gap between Peterbot and 1st place. And game 10 didn't turn out much better for Peter, because once again, they finished outside the top 10 in just 11th. However, Pollo's team didn't have the best game either, finishing in 6th, so it was still possible for them to have a comeback. And once again, I will remind you, when the odds are stacked against him is when Peterbot is at his best. So during game 11, when both of Peterbot's teammates went down early and it was up to him to solo clutch, he went absolutely crazy.
Just as good.
Peterbot's going up. 70 builds. Badil's trying to go up. Badil's trying to 90 up to get up to 6. Doesn't realize he's lurking down below. He's invisible. Badil sees him now. Pete takes down Badil as a solo. He's getting chopped though. He needs a siphon. Can't get it. 10 HP. Can't be seen. Jumps back up. Peterbot takes height as a solo. Gets the siphon. Takes down Sphinx. What the fuck is happening? Oh my god! This is Rice comes up, Rice gets chopped, Pete pumps him, 10 HP, gets him again! That's another siphon, doesn't even need it! Drops down, Pete's come out, it's a 1v2, he needs to take down Quanti, and Edgy takes his pump!
And after clutching so many points, it was down to the final game. However, surprisingly, Peterbot would get contested at his drop spot by a random team with no potential to even get top 10.
Even now, look at this. What's going on here? Power, Polis, and Ritual. That's all I'm saying.
What?
This is their drop. Freeze up.
Kind of weird. I'm guessing they maybe thought that Pete was going to go night shift as well. Bro, keeps throwing up the leaderboard. This team's already been under enough fire on social media, but apparently we want more smoke.
They're shielded.
Yeah, we're great.
Well, Cole's getting in. Cole's getting active. Cole doesn't care. Cole takes him down. Cole, of course, Cole just runs straight in. Yo, this shit just gets in, bro. What the? Homie's literally stuck in the vault now.
Although this might throw off some other competitors, this is Peterbot that we're talking about. And he somehow overcame this and went on to win the final game of the tournament.
In the same box, you see the material count, the resources.
Pollo goes down to Jack. Wait, he falls. Aegis solo. Aegis goes down. Wait, is it enough? 13 kills. If we get the 3 kills and the win, I don't think it's enough though. But Peterbot's trying to go for it. Peterbot can't take down Blake. He's got the med hits, 20 HP. Blake takes high ground, 3v1. It comes down to Blake, one of the vets. P versus Blake, you have to think Blake's going to go down here. Is it enough though? That's going to be the question. No way the 16 kill win might not be enough. What the? 14 points was the difference. Congratulations to your Major 1 champions. Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. 14 points separated that win.
While these 2 last games were huge for Peterbot, it still was not enough to take home the tournament win. However, they only managed to lose by 14 points.
3rd. That is not even bad. But damn. 700. 900. The person in 10th was 350. 600
points, almost pulling off one of the biggest comebacks in FNCS history. And with that being said, Agers, Acorn, and Pollo came out on top. This means that Pollo won 4, yes, you heard that correctly, 4 FNCS championships in a row. and finally ending the storyline of Peterbot being the most dominant player in the game. Because now everyone is
Pollo-
gonna have to put some respect on Pollo's name.
Pollo
And
won
although this
FNCS
was
in
probably
2020
a devastating loss for Peterbot,
this year?
they still placed 172 points higher than the third place team, which was Clicks. And by the way, shout out to Clicks for getting his first ever third place and breaking his curse. And if you guys
Fourth
haven't
place.
seen my interview with
His
Clicks yet,
curse is
there is a
fourth
1
place.
hour
It's
long
funny.
video linked right here that you can go check out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.
What he said. Watch that video right over here. It's been Nightvex React or Nightvex or AJ or Julian, whatever you want to call me, and I'm out. Peace.